Station sets up shop off the coast of Long Island. There's a new rock station in town. Well, not really in town, really in the water. And it may be illegal. It's a pirate radio station, 4.5 miles off Long Beach, Long Island. They say they're in international waters, but international waters begin 12 miles out, and as I say, they're only 4.5 miles. The Buccaneer broadcasters are on an old freighter called Sarah. They call themselves RNI, Radio New York International, 103.1 FM, 1620 AM, on the air tonight after 7 p.m. If they're illegal, though, the Coast Guard and the FCC might just pull down their Jolly Roger, and rather quickly at that.
RNI for Radio New York International. The station has been broadcasting for the past 2 days from a freighter several miles off Long Beach, Long Island. But the FCC says RNI is unlicensed and has pulled the plug. RNI says it's in international waters and doesn't need a license. A station spokesman vows to return to the airwaves with a format described as free-form rock with open commentary.
Said they are anchored 4.5 miles off the coast, outside the 3-mile territorial limit of the United States, where they say the FCC has no jurisdiction. RNI says they are on the air as a kind of protest against what they call the staleness of the New York City broadcast media.
Has been rocking and rolling off the coast of Long Island, is in some pretty big trouble with the Federal Communications Commission tonight. A pirate radio station is being operated from that 200-foot fishing vessel. And as Eric Shawn reports, the FCC wants that seabound radio station sunk.
To the FCC, what you are hearing is illegal. But to the staff of Radio New York International, there is music on the bounty. These self-proclaimed radio enthusiasts surely have created the most unusual broadcasting station in the country by buying a rusty old Japanese cargo ship anchoring in the Atlantic 5 miles off Long Beach, Long Island, and turning on the power to protest what they consider the sorry state of commercial rock and roll radio.
From Radio New York International.
This is the kind of programming they've played on the air. Those here claim about 20 believers raised $200,000 for the ship and equipment, converting the refrigerated cargo hold into a makeshift transmitting room and studio. The result can be heard on 103.1 FM and 1620 AM from 6 p.m. to midnight.
After only 2 days of broadcasting, this renegade radio station ran into a legal squall. The FCC, Coast Guard, Customs, and immigration officials boarded this vessel on Saturday and issued a warning for operating an unlicensed radio station. A warning, the operators say, they won't accept.
They have bullied us, I think very unprofessionally so, and I think they've, they boarded this vessel illegally against our wishes, but, they came out with people that had guns and we didn't.
The ship was registered under the Honduran flag and lies in what those on board consider international waters. They hope soon to attract advertisers and vow to remain on the air and on the high seas as long as they can financially stay afloat. I'm Eric Shawn, off the Atlantic coast.
A freighter in the Atlantic. But News 9's Kelly Wright reports the crew is determined to keep on beaming out songs from their seagoing studio.
From the radio ship Sarah, RNI, is Radio New York International.
This radio station is not just riding the airwaves, it is also riding the waves of the Atlantic. The ship, which was purchased by the group, was christened Sarah, in honor of songs written by Bob Dylan and Fleetwood Mac.
Well, I think it's pretty good. They play a lot of really good rock and roll.
Radio New York International, or RNI, began broadcasting free-form rock and roll from this Honduran vessel anchored 4.5 miles off of Jones Beach. That despite a warning from the FCC to stop operating without a license.
So we're out of the FCC's jurisdiction. The station is in international waters, and it is not subject to FCC jurisdiction. The ship is under foreign registry, and everything about the operation is 100% legal.
But the FCC is still trying to determine if the station has done anything illegal. Meanwhile, RNI continues to broadcast as a renegade station from the high seas at 1620 AM and 103.1 FM on the radio. The station claims it will always be uncensorable and unsinkable.
Radio and the broadcast media, including television, should have the same constitutional guarantees that the print media does.
RNI says that it will keep on rocking and rolling the airwaves as long as the FCC does not rock its boat by stopping it from broadcasting its free-form rock and roll. Kelly Wright, News 9, aboard the radio ship Sarah.
The station operators hope to begin round-the-clock commercial broadcasting by the end of August. Sarah?
Behind the mics on a rusty old freighter say they're doing it for freedom. Pablo Guzman visited that pirate ship today.
In the waters off Long Beach, Long Island, lurks what the government calls an outlaw ship, broadcasting mostly rock and roll since Thursday evening. After a search, we could pick up a signal.
It is at RNI. Many of us have lived in a smaller city.
Alleged pirate radio RNI, but where in these international waters were they?
We're with Channel 5 News. Do you know where these kids are operating? What kids are operating?
The Coast Guard didn't know or wouldn't tell us, but our search continued.
Channel 5 News has spared no expense in tracking down these pirates. We've added this vessel to our investigative fleet. It's a duplicate of the one used on Miami Vice. With us is our Captain Fred Shaw. Fred, these pirates say that they're outside the 3-mile limit. What does that mean? When they're off the 3-mile limit, they're in international waters. There you have it. That means that we're going after international radio pirates.
We finally found them flying not the Jolly Roger, but the flag of Honduras, 4.5 miles from land. But our speedboat lacked size for a boarding, so we brought out the mothership, Captain Lou's Sixth. Mark Danon and his hardy crew got us on board Radio New York International, RNI, and we got the station engineer to talk. Why are you doing this?
Well, we're a group of people that believe in free radio, and we got together and anchored a ship out in international waters, and we're broadcasting alternative free-form radio, seeing that we feel that radio on shore has been recently come under fire and has been censored a bit.
How big would you like to get?
Worldwide.
The alleged pirates are hoping to keep their station afloat long enough to attract the listeners that will attract the advertisers that will bring in the dollars to keep WRNI on the air. Off Long Beach, I'm Pablo Guzman, Fox News, Channel 5.
It's pirated the airwaves off Long Island. It is called RNI, Radio New York International. It's a radio station operating illegally out of a freighter about 5 miles off Long Beach. RNI plays rock and roll, and it plans to broadcast round the clock just as soon as it gets some advertisers. The Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, has ordered RNI to stop broadcasting, but the renegade rock station says it's in international waters outside the 3-mile legal limit. Stay tuned.
4 miles off the coast of Long Beach, Long Island. Tonight, David Navarro went aboard for a first-hand look.
Sitting 4.5 miles off the coast of Long Beach, Long Island, the rusty old converted freighter continued to rock and roll in the water tonight as it ignored federal orders to stop broadcasting.
All right, that's the Ramones here at RNI, Radio New York International. I'm Ivan Jeffries.
The ship is called Sarah, and it's named after songs by Bob Dylan and Fleetwood Mac. And it's also the home of pirate radio station Radio New York International, currently located at 1620 on the AM dial and 103.1 on the FM band.
You know, just a whole bunch of people that really just love radios and art form and pooled all their resources, got the ship, and put it on the air.
But as far as the FCC is concerned, the station is breaking the law by not operating with a license and are now vigorously pursuing various legal actions to sink the station before it gets started. On Saturday, the ship was visited by Customs Service officers and FCC agents.
The FCC started bullying us and threatening to bring the military out and all this if we didn't cease operations. And we kept saying to them that your jurisdiction ends 3 miles out.
Reporting off the coast of Long Beach, Long Island, David Navarro, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, a spokesman for the pirate station said that they plan to begin selling advertising and formally start operations on August the 1st.